All right, let's get right into it. AI in hiring. For a lot of us, it feels like this. Complete black box, right? Some mysterious algorithm is making a call in your career. But what if we could actually pry that box open and see what's going on inside?
I mean, how many of us have been there? You pour your heart into an application, you know you're a perfect fit for the job, and then boom. Minutes later, that cold, automated rejection email hits your inbox. No why, no feedback, just a computer saying no. It's maddening.
And that right there is the heart of the issue. Most of these AI systems take everything you are, all your skills, all your experience, all your potential, and just smush it all down into a single mysterious number. A fit score. But what on earth does a 78% fit score even mean? Nobody tells you. You're just left guessing.
The researchers behind this study absolutely nail it. They say you just can't reduce the whole hiring process to one single number. Think about it. Hiring is messy. It's about trade-offs, it's about team culture, it's about logistics, and it's about skills. Trying to boil all that down to one score, it's just not going to give you a good or even fair result.
And this image, wow, it just lays the problem bare. What you're looking at is a map of all the research in AI hiring. See that giant tangled knot right in the center? That's where almost everyone is focused, job candidate matching. And then, look way out there on the fringe, all lonely by itself. That little dot is decision support systems. The entire field has been obsessed with finding the one perfect match, basically ignoring the idea of building a better tool to help humans make better decisions.
Okay, so enough about the problem. How do we actually fix this? Well, that brings us to a whole new approach, one that's designed to finally crack open that box.
And this is the big question the researchers wanted to answer. How can we make hiring AI something that's multidimensional, easy to understand, and can actually scale? The goal isn't to get rid of AI, it's to fundamentally redesign it so it's a tool that helps recruiters, not a judge that replaces them.
Here's the best way to think about it. We're talking about a shift from a black box to a dashboard. The black box just spits out a judgment, yes or no. But a dashboard in your car, it doesn't drive for you. It gives you the critical info, your speed, your fuel, your engine temp, all laid out clearly so that you, the driver, can make the smart decision.
So, what is this dashboard? Well, they call it the multi-KPI framework. It's a fancy name for a simple idea. Instead of one single fit score, it breaks that idea of fit down into a bunch of different, complementary, and most importantly, understandable indicators, or KPIs. Each one tells you something specific and useful. So how does it work under the hood? It's basically a four-step process. First, it just sucks in all the data, the job postings and the resumes. Then, step 2, it does a really broad search to find anyone who might possibly be a good fit. Step 3 is where it gets tough, controlling for the absolute must-have requirements. And then, the final step, the magic moment, it lays everything out on that decision support dashboard for a human to see.
All right, so we know what it does, but how does it actually measure if someone's a good fit? Well, the whole system is built on what they call 3 core pillars of alignment.
And I love this image because it shows you the whole concept at a glance. You've got these 3 foundational pillars: hard skills, soft skills, and logistics. They're all separate, they're all equally important, and together they support the final hiring decision. So let's break these down. The first pillar, hard skills, is pretty straightforward. It's asking, can this person do the technical parts of the job? And they measure that with a KPI for skill coverage. The second pillar is soft skills, and it's looking for evidence. It asks, will they fit with the team? Can they communicate? And the third pillar is all about operational feasibility, the brass tacks. Are they in the right city? Do their salary needs match up? It's the practical stuff. What's really clever is that even within just one pillar, like hard skills, there's a ton of nuance. The system uses a few different KPIs that work together. So you've got one called semantic similarity, which is kind of like the wide-angle lens. It finds people who are in the right general ballpark. But then you have another one, skill coverage, which is the zoom lens. It checks where the exact tools and language is needed. You really need both to see things clearly.
Okay, so this all sounds fantastic on paper, right? But the big question is, does it actually work in the real world? Well, the researchers decided to put it to the test.
So here's what they did. They built a testbed using real-world data. We're talking about over 300 actual data science job postings, and they ran about 300 real, anonymized resumes against them. The goal was pretty simple. Can this new system produce a shortlist that actually makes sense and would be useful to a real recruiter?
And the results, yeah, they were pretty impressive. Let's just look at one number.
0.81. That was the average hard skill coverage for the candidates the system ranked at the very top. In plain English, that means the top-ranked people had, on average, 81% of the exact skills the job asked for. So bottom line, the system is really good at finding people who can actually do the job. But this graph tells an even better story. Take a look. It's showing the average skill score as you move down the list from rank 1 to rank 10. You see that beautiful, smooth, downward curve? That's the money shot. That's exactly what you hope to see because it proves the system is creating a logical, well-ordered list. The best candidates really are at the top.
But here's maybe the biggest takeaway from the whole experiment. Having a high skill score isn't everything. Because what they found was that there were a lot of candidates with perfect 100% skill coverage. On paper, they were all technically identical. So how do you possibly choose? And that's exactly why you need the other pillars, the soft skills, the logistics. That's what helps you find the single best person out of a group of technically perfect candidates.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. What does all this mean in the grand scheme of things? Why should we care about this?
It really comes down to a fundamental shift in how we think about AI. We have to stop seeing AI as this all-knowing judge that delivers a final verdict from on high. Instead, we need to see it for what it should be, a powerful support tool. It's not here to replace our judgment, it's here to supercharge it with clear, organized data.
And when you make that shift, the benefits are huge. Suddenly, everything is transparent. You can actually see why someone is a good match. That means your decisions are auditable. You can explain them. And that, of course, leads to better and fairer decisions. It helps companies align with the ethical hiring practices we all want to see.
So, in the end, this isn't about building a better AI judge. It's about building a better tool, a smarter dashboard that empowers us to make smarter decisions. And that kind of leaves me with a final question for you. If you could have an AI dashboard for any other complex decision in your life, what would you want it to help you with?